Imagine a world where climate change is won. The lucky few people with enough money to escape watch through the glass of their new intergalactic home as a once thriving utopia sits empty. Empty of its unique oxygen. Empty of the joy and happiness that radiated from it. Empty of the thriving ecosystems that once enveloped it. Empty of the lives of the many poor who were left behind to deal with their ancestors' mistakes. Do you want this nightmare reality to occur? Well, if we don't act fast, it will. As the ozone layer rasps and wheezes, our luxuries will seem to fade into nothingness. The false reality that the only major effect of climate change will be rising seas will be extinguished as the true reality unfolds. Weather across New Zealand will become hazardous, flooding towns and farms. Leading on from the seas rising, places like Venice will be neighbours with Atlantis. Not to mention our simple pleasure of skiing. You can forget that. Our mountains will rarely feel snow, let alone enough for skiing. This is not a problem we can just freeze. There are a select few countries that are treating this crisis like the Ragnarok, the doomsday that it is. An amazing example of this is Sweden. Sweden has been leading the world for many years environmentally, creating the first ever United Nations meeting dedicated to climate change, and even being the first to sign the Kyoto Protocol, reducing their emissions by 9% from 2008 to 2012. We, New Zealand, ranked 44th best on the emission scale, have also set a target, which is to reduce all greenhouse gases in New Zealand to net zero by 2020. As communities and countries dedicate their lives to this cause, almost half of the people in power deny the problem even exists. These countries are withholding the medicine that the Earth needs to recover. Activists rally their forces to get the slightest word through to the upper powers, all to be rejected by the simple words, "We'll put it on our to-do list." To conquer this worldwide mass extinction, we first need to accept the reality. But what will happen if we just give up on our planet, give up on nature? Well, the oceans will start to become way more acidic. This will result in the rapid decline in fish and shellfish populations. Shockingly, the levels of oxygen reduction in the ocean will increase from 1% to 7%, while the sea levels will rise 2 to 4 meters. The summers will be getting a whole lot more intense temperature-wise, but so will our winters, thanks to the polar jet stream blowing the cold air south. Our severe natural disasters will happen a lot more regularly and intensely. It does not look good in the future. But how will we do something about this with our world leaders so reluctant to do anything about it? Thousands of people lead strikes all the time to try and influence the heads of governments, but it is not enough. More people need to stand up and join the cause. In New Zealand, we have a Prime Minister who cares about the environment and wants to make a change. But in other countries, like Australia, the Prime Minister couldn't give a rat's foot about this. Sadly, the only way to eliminate this problem is re-election. The old fossils in charge of this planet are turning this place into a fossil. After accepting the reality, we need to address the problem in 3 different stages: government, community, and individually. While it is difficult to influence the government directly, we can influence which party is in the government. What we can do is, as a community, do our part. We can do this by doing many things: tree planting, creating more bike lanes to get people out of cars, and even just carpooling more. Taking it one step further, you can even help the environment individually by changing your habits to reduce wastage in all areas. Imagine where climate change has been averted. People play happily in the lush greenery and landscape. Animals thrive in their restored ecosystems, recovering from their forced extinction and growing in numbers. This could all be achieved with the time and effort that this crisis deserves. Earth is treading water and will soon go under if we do not act now.